Like, share, subscribe. Shouts out to the Lions Den community. And don't y'all forget to subscribe to the podcast show. Link will be pinned in the top of the chat.
Just name the channel who can bang with us. I'll prove that you are smoking dust. GGB Media is top notch in this game, y'all. You failures only have your self to blame, y'all. Cricket TV and a weapons make you suckers cry. Why don't you close your channel, crawl into a hole and die? Shout out to those who love our movement, no, we'll never flop until you get your mouth on LDBC. We are the underground outfit, y'all. We built this whole thing by ourselves, no in y'all. Independence start with self-preservation. If you can't take care of self, then how can you build a nation, y'all? Yup, we got that merch for the ladies and yes, we even got that merch for the babies and we got appliances and everything that you will need. We got some banging songs that make anemic haters bleed.
My bad, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Press one if y'all can hear me in the comments, man. Let's get the mic. Let's get the mic check real quick, man. Press one if y'all can hear me. Salute to everybody tapping on in, man. If y'all can hear me, press one in the comment section, man. Salute to everybody that's in the building. Y'all already know what it is, man. Appreciate all of y'all, man. No, Jeffrey Epstein is not here anymore. He is passed away. That has been confirmed. But now, from the pressure from the general public, the pressure from all the citizens who are not jockstrap sniffers, but who are truth seekers. The pressure has mounted, and now the truth is starting to come out. And everybody, salute to all of you guys that are tapped on in. They have to protect this man at all costs right here on the right-hand side of your screen. Excuse me, sir, don't be coming in here trying to scream at me and yell at my chat, bro. That's the quickest way to get you out of here, brother. So, man, it's going down, man. Right now, everybody's been wondering what's been going on. Just to take y'all back just for a second, the DOJ and the FBI, Donald Trump's DOJ and his FBI was screaming to the high heavens before the election that they wanted the Epstein list to be released. Well, they got elected, got into office, and the same people who voted for him, the MAGA people and all these other people who voted for them, held them to that word that they want the list released. Well, recently, Pam Bondi came out after originally saying that she had the list on her table, on her desk, and that she had to basically review it before releasing it, which is why we want to know, why would you need to review it or do whatever you had to do? She came back and then said, I wasn't talking about that. I was just saying in general. And now Donald Trump's DOJ and FBI are saying there is no list. There is no more information, no more files like that. It's just, there is no list of contacts or clients, or not a client list, I should say, or this, that, and the third to be released. There's no more information. He took his own life, they're saying, and it's over with. End investigation. Well, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, because it just went down. And I'm going to tell y'all what's going on right now. A man who is a witness in this case, who has been accused and who was accused with Jeffrey Epstein, has now come forward, and his name is Alan Dershowitz. Now, he is an American lawyer and a former Harvard Law School professor, known for his work in the U.S. Constitution and criminal law. Now, he taught at Harvard back from 1964 to 2013, holding the title of Felix Frankfurt professor of law. Uh, Now, Mr. Dershowitz has represented high-profile clients like Jeffrey Epstein, O.J. Simpson, Iron Mike Tyson, and your president, Donald J. Trump, and is a vocal defender of Israel, authoring books such as The Case for Israel 2003 came out. He also has been a media commentator on legal and political issues. Now, he had allegations that came out against him. That's the man on the right-hand side of your screen. Now, Alan Dershowitz was accused of sexual misconduct related to his association with Jeffrey Epstein, who we all know as the financier convicted of sex crimes, sex trafficking, of you know who's and you know what's. Now, Virginia Giuffre. Now, you guys remember we did an article on her on his channel a couple months ago. She passed away suddenly, and people tried to say that, hey, she passed away due to a unaliving of herself, but that wasn't what a lot of people were thinking. A lot of people are thinking that it was foul play. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in a 2014 court filing, Virginia, who was one of the victims of Epstein, right, in his sex trafficking, she alleged that Epstein trafficked her to this man on the right-hand side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, for sex between the year of 2000 and the year of 2002 when she was underage. She claimed this occurred multiple times in locations, including in Florida, in New York, New Mexico, and I think she said she was on Epstein's plane as well, on his private plane, private jet, whatever you want to call it, right? So another Epstein accuser as well, who went by the name of Sarah Ransom, she also alleged that Jeffrey Epstein directed her to have sex with this man on the right-hand side of your screen, Alan Dershowitz. Now, basically, Dershowitz was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer in 2005, negotiating a controversial non-prosecution agreement that resulted in Jeffrey Epstein serving 13 months in jail with work release for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Now, that deal drew scrutiny, especially after Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 arrest for sex trafficking. Now, Virginia Giuffre, the woman who had just passed away a couple months ago, at a young age, sued Dershowitz, right, the man on the right-hand side of your screen, in 2019 for defamation after he denied her claims and accused her of lying for financial gain. Now, Mr. Dershowitz countersued Virginia and her lawyer, David Boies, for defamation. Now, in 2022 of November, Virginia, she dropped her allegations against Mr. Alan Dershowitz, stating that she, quote unquote, may have made a mistake in that situation now and identifying him as one of her abusers, citing the stressful and traumatic environment of her trafficking experience. The lawsuits between her, Boies, and Dershowitz were all settled without monetary payouts. Now, all the claims that they all made against each other were dismissed. Now, Dershowitz has constantly denied all the allegations, claiming they were false and motivated by financial gain, and he pointed to evidence like travel records and an email from journalist Sharon Churcher suggesting Virginia include him in her book for publicity, arguing and showed that he was framed. Now, the other woman, Mrs. Ransom's allegations have not been retracted, but no criminal charges were filed against Dershowitz, and he maintains his innocence on that front, right? Now that y'all know who he is, now let's get into it. He has just come out, ladies and gentlemen, on the Sean Spicer show and claimed that he knows all the names on that list. He claims he knows everyone that's on that Epstein list. He claims that the list does exist, and he claims that they're protecting and suppressing the list to protect certain individuals. He claims that there are not only politicians on that list, but he claims that there are very, very powerful businessmen on that list as well. And he said he's seen the list and knows all the names. He said he knows all the names. Now, the only reason why he said that he cannot reveal the names is because he has been legally bound by a judge to not speak about this in any way, shape, or form. Now, I'm going to let you guys hear what he had to say as far as revealing the names. But they need to protect this dude's life at all costs until they can get those names out this guy and that information out of this guy so that we can find out what in the blue hell is going on. Now, let's get to it. I want to play y'all what he said about those files.
Have seen, this is not an opinion, this is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely on the Epstein, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
Everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators.
Now, let me say this to y'all. Here's the reason why I believe what he's saying. And I know a lot of y'all don't believe what he's saying or may not believe what he's saying about that part. I believe him because he's an attorney. And when you're an attorney and you have a case, you deal with attorney-client privileges, meaning an attorney cannot turn around and give information on that case. He is bound to attorney-client privilege. Remember, he was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney in that first case, right? Now, the girl, Virginia, she dropped her allegations against him as he maintained his innocence. And she said she may have mistaken him for somebody else. So she dropped her allegations against him. But he wanted those files to be released. And he says, look, these files do exist. I've seen them. I've seen all the names on them, but I can't speak. The fact that he can't say that, and he's saying why, I believe him. Because as an attorney, this is what happens. He represented Jeffrey Epstein. So any of those things and that he represented in that case or has something, he cannot reveal those lists for attorney-client privilege information. This is the same, like, for example, you get gangsters, you get mobsters, you get all these people who get attorneys, right? Their attorneys cannot turn around and reveal information about them because that's what you call attorney-client privilege, right? So regardless of how bad you may think the allegations are or how bad that they want to release it, they are bound legally by attorney-client privilege. Now, people will say, hey, man, morally, you need to let that go. You need to let those names go. You need to let those names go, right? Right? So it doesn't matter if you're alive or not as a client. You have a certain, it's illegal to do that. It's illegal. So the family of Epstein can come after this guy if he was to release that client attorney-client privilege information, right? And different information that he have received as far as being an attorney. Remember, he's an attorney, right? So I believe his story when he said he is bound. Here's the thing. He need to find a way to get a judge to rule against that because morally, we need those answers because he knows who's on that list. And he says that not only are powerful political figures, but he said powerful businessmen are on the list. And he says he knows who's on the list because he's seen the list. He said the list, it does exist, and the list is being suppressed. And there's only one way that we know the list is being suppressed. Because Donald Trump's DOJ now is saying there is no client list. There is nothing else to see. There is no more investigation needed. Let's move forward. So the person he has to be speaking of for suppressing that list is you know who. You know who. Now let's say it again. And I trust him on this because why? He wouldn't come out here, put this out here and say he wants that list to be released and say that it's suppressed unless he was telling the truth. I totally believe him. He wouldn't get a whiff of this shit if he thought it was true. And excuse me, to the person who said he's lying about being bound by confidentiality, no, he's not. When you represent, let me give you an example. When you're an attorney and you represent a client, he represent Epstein. So he saw all types of personal files from the government and different information they had from interviews and everything. It is illegal for him to release that information on his client because this has something to do with his client. So any information he's privy to in that case, he cannot come back and say, hey man, I'm gonna convict you because of this just because I'm gonna do what's right. That's why that's how they protect clients with the attorney-client privilege, right? That's why the attorney-client privilege is so important, because you have bad guys who they may tell their attorney, hey, look, this, and this, but their attorney can't turn around and use that information against them, right? See, this guy's not going to say this because he's putting his life on the line saying this. Why would he come out and say this knowing now that he's going to be the most smart man in the world? He ain't lying. I'm telling you, I don't care what you think about him. He ain't lying. He's not lying. He's not lying. He is not lying. Tell you that right now. You understand? And he says he knows exactly who's protecting it. And there's one person that can declassify and let all of them go right now. And we know who that is. It's Donald J. Trump. And he's not doing it. For what reason? Hey, you figure it out. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. There ain't no other way around it. If Donald Trump wanted to, he could declassify, like he said he would do, all those files. He could have Pash Patel declassify all those files and release them all unredacted with all the information. He ain't doing it. Why he ain't doing it? Go ask him. See, over here, you don't get no protection program over here on Ticket TV. You gonna get that smoke. Point blank, period. You understand what I'm saying? Let's keep going now.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely, and they have seen, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction. That's what I've said from day one. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Anything there is about me, I'm happy because it will be exculpatory. Because I know I haven't touched a woman other than my wife from the day I met Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even hug people. But I was falsely accused, and I was able to prove it. And I was able to prove it through documents. And I want other people to be able to disprove false accusations through documents. But these documents are being...
See, and the fact that he wants those documents released, the fact that he's speaking on this, the fact that he's being so adamant about this shows me and makes me think he's telling the truth. He has no reason to come out here and lie. Why would he come out here, push for it to be out here and put a target on his back? Because now everybody knows he knows the names. So they can go take him out. How can he cover himself up if he wants all the documents released from the first time? If he was trying to protect himself or cover himself, he wouldn't say a word. There'd be nothing to talk about. He'd just be quiet and go sit in the corner somewhere, wouldn't say nothing, and let it all boil over. Nope. I believe him. See, you have to be a great judge of people and judgment of people, and you have to weigh certain situations. Why in the blue hell would this man put his life in danger, come out here and say he knows all those names that are on that list, say there's a list when Donald J. Trump, the DOJ, and the FBI are telling you there ain't no more to see here? Why would he then come out and say, nah, there is more to see? I seen them. It does exist. And I know exactly who's suppressing them and who's hiding them. Why would he say that if he's lying? I believe him. 100% I believe him. He has no reason to come out here and put his life in danger and lie. And I also believe him because he's a lawyer. So when he says that he is bound by attorney-client privileges and by judges' rulings, he's not lying. These are facts. These are facts. He's been in that circle. He was Epstein's lawyer. Listen, it doesn't matter if your client dies or not. You're still bound to that confidentiality. You're still bound to it. When you are, let me give you an example. This is the same thing with the lawyers of any client they had that passed away. Private information inside of that case that wasn't made public is attorney-client privilege information. Doesn't mean that when he dies, you can go tell everybody what's going on. That's not how the law works. That's not how the law works. And you can think whatever you want to think of him. Here's what makes him credible. First of all, he was in that circle. Second of all, he represents Jeffrey Epstein. So he's seen a lot of things that was in that circle. Think about what I just said to y'all. Fourth of all, he has nothing to gain by coming out here saying he knows who's on that list. That puts a target on this guy. Because if he does know, which he has no reason to lie about knowing, all the names that's on that list, he said he's seen the list, which I believe he was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. I definitely believe him. 1,000% believe him. 1,000% believe him. And when he says that, man, he knows why those records are being suppressed, when everybody's telling y'all that, nah, there ain't nothing else to see here, and he's telling you, nah, they're suppressing records, and I want them to release all the records. Not me. I want them to release all the records. That's what he says. Regardless of what you think about him, guess who you're not hearing say or do that? You ain't hearing the DOJ and the FBI and them saying to do that no more. They out here telling y'all that the records are suppressed. This guy's telling you, no, I saw it. I know who's on the list. Right? Now, here's what I hope. I hope that a certain judge can get a situation where they can rule that if he releases the names he knows, it can't be used against him. I hope that there's a ruling that can be put in place to where, he can reveal that, right? Think about what I just said. Listen, and I want y'all to understand this. He has no reason to come out here right now saying there's a list. He could have just been quiet, sat in the corner somewhere, and let this blow over. Straight up. Straight up. And somebody says why he didn't say that in the past 6 years. That's because wasn't nobody running around here saying it wasn't a list. Sir, now that Donald J. Trump is in office, his whole team is out here saying, oh, no, there ain't no more to see here. Ain't no client list. There ain't no more to see here. Closed investigation. There's nothing else to see here, y'all. Goodbye. Why are we still talking about this guy? Duh. So now that they're saying that, he's saying, nah, they're lying. I'm telling you right now, they need to release all the names.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely, and the Epstein And ultimately, I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything.
Everything. It's over with, y'all. And this is the reason why everybody come on my channel, Ticket, man, why you don't vote? You need to vote, man. Man, I told y'all this. I don't trust none of them clowns. I don't trust Donald Trump. I don't trust Kamala Harris. I don't trust Barack Obama. I don't trust Joe Biden. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust George Bush. I don't trust any of them. They'll sit up here and tell me, hey, man, sit down. This is why. And I totally agree, and I totally believe what this man is saying. Why? For one, he was in that circle. For two, he represented Jeffrey Epstein as a lawyer. He was not only a lawyer for Jeffrey Epstein. Look at all the people that he's represented. He's represented who, you guys? Jeffrey Epstein, O.J. Simpson, Mike Tyson, and Donald Trump. You think I don't believe him? You damn right I believe him. And I believe him saying this out loud is to protect himself. So that everybody knows now, if something happens to Alan suddenly, we know what time it is. That's why you go public and you let everybody know you know them names. And I'm willing to bet y'all this. He has a contingency plan. How much y'all want to bet? How much you want to bet he has somebody that we don't know about that's holding on to this information for him in case something happens to him. And that person will probably release all that information. That is to protect him and his family. I totally believe this guy. You don't have to like a person to believe what a person is saying. 1,000% believe this guy. Has no reason to come out here and lie. Not right now. He could have just jumped on it and not said nothing. Why even put himself in this? He didn't have to say anything. He could have just been quiet. Think about this now. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. So you better believe he got something to protect his ass. And he's letting everybody know out loud so everybody can see. Oh, okay. Now all eyes is on Alan. All eyes is on Alan Dershowitz. Who would know better than him? Who would know better than him? Right? Who would know better than him? He knows the names.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen. Remember, I was accused falsely, and they have seen.
And think about this. When he says that, he's directly challenging the White House, Donald Trump, the DOJ, and the FBI. That's a direct challenge to them by saying, no. I've seen it, and I know who's trying to suppress it, and I know what's happening. Straight up. Don't nobody want to hear about serial attention. So you don't seek attention like this. They can get you wiped off planet Earth unless you got some smoke. I believe him. 100% believe this guy. 100%.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen. Remember, I was accused falsely, and they have seen. And ultimately, I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have took me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction. That's what I said from day one. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Anything there is about me, I'm happy because it will be exculpatory. Because I know I haven't touched a woman other than my wife from the day I met Jeffrey.
He says he wants, this was Trump's lawyer. Think about the challenge he just issued to him. He said, release all the files unredacted. So he's saying, look, I've seen the list. I know all the names that's on it. They're lying. He's basically calling out Trump, the DOJ, and the FBI for lying. And he says that they're suppressing the list and that they should release all the files unredacted. This was Trump's lawyer at one time. Why would he lie? Why would he come out here, say I know the names, and listen to what I just said to y'all? He says they need to because remember, they released a lot of files, but a lot of the information is redacted. You can't even see it. He said release all the files unredacted. That means uncovered up. Release them in their original form so the entire general public can see all the information that's in those files. Don't release some files and have half the papers blacked out and you can't read the information. Don't do that. Have transparency for the same American people you work for and that voted for you. But I know they don't want to do this. This is why I keep trying to tell y'all, I don't trust no politicians, Playboy. None of them. You got people that come in here and put their trust in man. People that come in here and put their allegiance to a certain individual, a certain group. And I'm starting to see that some of the even MAGA people got enough soul to call Trump out on this stuff. And I want to shout out to them for having enough soul to say, hold on, man, this ain't right, bro. Now y'all talking about the list ain't even here no more. This ain't right. He getting more heat on this from MAGA than he's ever gotten before ever. Because he ain't ever been held accountable for nothing. They on his helmet now. You don't believe me? Go look at all these podcasts, pro-Trump podcasts. Go look at all these MAGA people that's saying, coming in the comments saying, nah, I'm sick of this, bro. They not playing with them youngins. Straight up. I'm telling y'all this, bro. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, my only allegiance is to the truth. Because shouldn't nobody have to go through that type of stuff that these youngins allegedly went through? That's disgusting. So this man, he's challenging the status quo. He ain't coming out here lying, challenging the status quo if he ain't got nothing. Trust what I tell you. Best believe what I tell you. And you better believe he's got a contingency plan. He got a contingency plan. Anything happen to him, I guarantee y'all somebody else gonna let them thing, let whatever information he had, I promise y'all, he got a contingency plan.
This is not an opinion. This is a fact. I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely, and the Epstein And ultimately, I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else and withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction. That's what I've said from day one. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Anything there is about me, I'm happy because it will be exculpatory. Because I know I haven't touched a woman other than my wife from the day I met Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even hug people. But I was falsely accused, and I was able to prove it. And I was able to prove it through documents, and I want other people to be able to disprove false accusations.
So here's the thing, right? What about Musk? Why did Elon Musk say what he said about Trump? Notice one thing, y'all. Somebody says something about Trump or slanders them, he sues them. Elon Musk said that Trump is on the Epstein files and Trump did nothing. He didn't sue him. Why not? Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. Trump would have sued his ass off if that dude lied on his name. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Ain't Trump the same dude that sued the news station for reporting fake news? But Elon Musk, if he was lying, which I think Elon Musk, I don't respect him either, but if Elon Musk was lying, Trump would have went after Elon Musk, the platform he said it on, X, and all that stuff. He didn't do any of it. Why didn't he go after Elon Musk? Make it make sense. You know how many people Trump don't sue? And especially when we talk about stuff like this, well, that could be right under character defamation. Trump could have easily, and Trump loves money, he could have easily destroyed Elon Musk. That has to ring in your brains and make you think, man, what the hell is going on? But I know some of y'all still want to stay blind from the truth. Like I said, this is why you don't put your trust in no man. You understand what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all this. Salute to everybody that typed on. Answer that question in the comments. Why didn't Trump sue Elon Musk for saying that he's on the Epstein files? Why didn't he sue Elon Musk and go after X? Ask yourself that question. Salute everybody. Y'all know what it is. Like, share, subscribe. All right, you guys. So we appreciate everybody that popped in, supported this video. Make sure that you guys shop our merch. We got that new A-Weapons merchandise right there below this video. All you got to do is look below. The links will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well to get the merch, to donate, support the channel, and subscribe to our podcast show. You'll see all those links pinned at the top of the comment section of this video. And we appreciate everybody that supports this channel and our networks. Also, that straight drop weight loss formula. Go to the website. You guys will see that. A link for that will be pinned at the top of the comment section as well. Go right there for all of your weight loss needs. Straight drop weight loss formula. We have a lot of testimonials on the website. You can go to www.str-8-drop.com and get you some of the weight loss formula today. Take your weight loss serious. Get in the gym, work out, exercise, and do what you got to do. Stay on point. We appreciate everybody that's been locked into this video. Again, all the links are pinned at the top of the comment section below. Salute to all of y'all. And again, we appreciate everybody who support what we doing over here.